Is this yours? Your mum found this in your room. Did you sign for all these loans? Did you even read the promissory note? Look at the interest rate. Who taught you it was all right to take out loans like this? This is more than your tuition. Where did you learn that it was okay?
By you! I learned it by watching you.
Well, that made no sense.
No, it didn't.
Who are you?
Hi guys, it's Drew. Today we're going to talk about loans. Scary, I know.
How did you get in my house?
But loans aren't all that bad. In fact, when part of a well-rounded award package, they can help you afford the cost of your education. The key to taking out loans is to understand what you're borrowing and then limit that borrowing as much as possible.
Honey, there's a crazy person in our living room.
Well, she is a teenager, dear. That's to be expected.
To understand financing or how responsible borrowing can help you afford the cost of your education, we need to start at the beginning and to understand not only what a loan is, but what it's supposed to be used for. And while typically the responsibility for the loan is usually the student's, there are things that parents can do to support and help their student be a responsible borrower. So come along and let's make some sense out of this financial aid thing. I promise it won't be scary.
Why are you holding us?
Can we go now, please?
No. When it comes to financial aid, everyone loves grants and scholarships.
Yay!
But often we're uncomfortable with the idea of borrowing to pay for college. However, when grants, scholarships, and savings aren't able to cover the full cost of tuition, financing becomes an option. Financing simply means to borrow money. Well, technically, financing means the allocation of liabilities over time in a period of certainty and uncertainty. But let's face it, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and it's my job to make sense. So, financing. When you take out a loan, you borrow money from someone to pay for something. Loans can help cover our balances when we don't have enough to pay out of pocket. It's kind of like using a credit card. One way to reduce the amount that you may need to borrow is to try to get as many grants and scholarships as possible. And while it's absolutely okay to ask your financial services counselor if there are any additional scholarships available, sometimes there aren't. But here are some helpful tips. Always submit your FAFSA as early as possible. MCPHS has a priority deadline of March 15th, but remember, most grants and scholarships are first come, first served. So you should complete your FAFSA as early as possible. Don't worry if you haven't filed your taxes yet. You can submit a FAFSA with estimated information. Check out your local library and Chamber of Commerce. Oftentimes, small businesses and other community organizations will post various scholarships. If you're still in high school, talk with your guidance counselor. They can be an extremely helpful resource when looking for scholarships. Visit www.fastweb.com. This site aggregates outside scholarships and makes it easy for you to cast a wide net.
Parents should help their students apply for as many outside scholarships as possible and help them to work to bring in as many as they can.
Not only will this help you reduce the amount you need to borrow or pay out of pocket, but the harder you work to bring in outside scholarships, the more tangible your investment in your education will be.
Whoa, wait a second. The show's called Ask Drew, not Ask Mom and Dad.
You wanted us to be involved.
When it comes to student loans, there are several different types to help you out.
Oh, no. I do the voiceovers. That's my job. All right, you guys go read the master promissory note, all right? Go on, both of you. When it comes to student loans, there are a number of different types that can help you out, but they all have one thing in common. You need to apply for them. There are 5 main types of loans that can make up your financial aid package: Stafford, Perkins or Health Professions, Parent Plus, Graduate Plus, and Private. Stafford loans are the most common, and like the Perkins or Health Professions loans, you're applying for these when you fill out a FAFSA. Parent Plus loans are loans from the federal government that your parents apply for and are responsible for paying back. Graduate Plus loans are similar to the Parent Plus loan, but they are in your name. You can apply for these loans if you're in a graduate program. For example, 5th and 6th year of pharmacy. Private loans are loans from private lenders, which means banks, credit unions, basically any non-government lender. Students may apply for these loans, but they typically require a cosigner with extremely good credit. Affording your education requires a combination of loans, grants, scholarships, monthly payments, and financing. But not all loans are created equal, and they all work in different ways. Let's take a look at each one and see how they can help you afford your education. By far, the most common loan students encounter is the Federal Stafford Loan. You apply for Stafford loans when you complete a FAFSA, and you don't need to pay it back until after you graduate. Unlike other loans, the Stafford loan always has fixed amounts, meaning you can't increase the amount that you're given. For dependent undergraduate students, it's always $5,500 for freshmen, $6,500 for sophomores, and $7,500 for juniors and seniors.
You can, however, reduce or cancel the loan if you want.
That's right. You're never required to take any financial aid that you don't want.
For more information, check out the award letter tutorial.
May I continue?
Oh, yeah, sure.
The Stafford loan comes in 2 flavors, subsidized and unsubsidized. Subsidized Stafford loans do not accrue interest while you're in school. Unsubsidized Stafford loans,
Hey, can I get $5 for these shoes I really want?
no. Unsubsidized loans are,
Wait, no, come on, $7, please? They're on sale.
could I finish please? Unsubsidized loans are basically,
OMG, no, $10, please? They're so cute.
unsubsidized loans accrue interest while you're in school, but you don't need to pay it until you graduate. Depending on your FAFSA information, you may receive a combination of the two, or in some cases, only unsubsidized Stafford. Both loans are very helpful, and any time that you have a loan that accrues interest while you're in school, you have the option to pay the interest. Interest-only payments are a great way to reduce the amount that you'll have to eventually pay back. Additionally, it helps you get into the habit of making on-time monthly payments. Much like the subsidized Stafford loan, the Perkins and Health Professions loans do not accrue interest while you're in school.
We can procure those shoes at a later date. Yes, indeed, Perky.
As with the Stafford loan, when you fill out a FAFSA, you're applying for these loans, but you can't get both. Health Professions loans are only available to pharmacy students, while the Perkins is available to all other programs. But the most important thing to remember is that both the Perkins and Health Professions loans are first come, first served. There's a limited amount of each available, and once we're out, we're out.
But what if we don't want our daughter to take out any more loans? Shouldn't the school provide more scholarship money?
Grants and scholarships are determined by eligibility. If they don't cover the full cost of tuition and you need to finance, but you don't want your student to take on any more loan debt, then the parents can apply for the Federal Parent Plus loan. The Parent Plus loan, offered through the federal government, may be used to cover the entire remaining cost of attendance. It can also be used to cover things like rent, but we'll get into that in a minute. Unlike the previous loans we discussed, the Parent Plus loan requires a credit check, so it's possible to be denied if you have serious problems with your credit. However, unlike a private bank loan, the Plus loan does not look at credit score or debt to income. Parents may apply at www.studentloans.gov. Credit decisions are instantaneous, and the school is notified within 24 hours. If you're approved, your loan may be used to cover the remaining cost of attendance, or a smaller amount if you want. If you're denied, you may either opt for an endorser or additional Stafford loans can be added to your award package. Just be aware,
Can I have $15?
it's unsubsidized. Once the student is in the graduate program, for example, 5th and 6th year of pharmacy, then they're no longer eligible for the Parent Plus loan. The student can then apply for a similar loan called the Graduate Plus loan. This allows the student to cover the cost of their rotations and housing. For more information on how to apply, contact your financial services counselor.
I have enough debt already. I don't need another loan in my name.
Oh, not to worry. Private loans can be taken out in the student's name, and they can apply through a bank or a credit union if they'd like. Private loans are a great way to cover the remaining balance and housing, and don't have to be paid off until you graduate.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, easy there, Tiger. You're going to need a cosigner. Probably someone with really great credit who's willing to help you out. Also, private loans' interest rates are variable, which means they change all the time, and interest accrues while you're at school.
Hey, can I borrow $20?
No! Listen, this is how we got into this mess in the first place. Now, you've told us about loans. What about debt? She has too much debt.
Let me help you. With all the ways to finance your education and all the costs associated with attending school, it can be very easy to borrow more than you need. By paying attention to the amount that you're borrowing, only borrowing what you need, and using other means of covering your balance, you can help reduce the amount that you'll eventually have to pay back. Your award letter and e-bill can help you with this. Each semester, your e-bill shows how much is due. You can review the total amount of loans, grants, and scholarships you're receiving. If your bill shows a credit that you don't need, you can reduce the amount of loans, so you're not borrowing more than you need. Remember, you're here to study, And these loans are there to help you study, not to cover the cost of rent, car payments, or other non-educational expenses.
Families utilize budgets to help keep their bills manageable. We focus on utilities, rent, food, and other necessities.
Your award letter includes a financial aid worksheet that allows you to do just that. Tuition and fees are necessary to complete your degree, but you can adjust your budget to help reduce the amount of expenses that may not be necessary. If you live near campus, you can commute and avoid the cost of housing. Similarly, you can live in a small, less expensive apartment or with friends to help reduce the amount you may need to borrow for rent.
MCPHS offers an interest-free monthly payment plan. While a full monthly payment plan may be outside of your budget, contributing $100 a month will decrease the amount you need to borrow. That's $1,000 a year that isn't accruing interest.
If you're eligible, work-study jobs can reduce your day-to-day expenses like food and transportation by giving you a paycheck. Additionally, the more outside scholarship money you bring in, the less you have to borrow.
Pay attention to how much you're borrowing. Keep copies of disclosure statements, billing statements, and award letters. Keep track of how much you receive in refunds. Take the time to read everything and ask questions. If there's something you don't understand or you think you might be borrowing too much, see your financial aid counselor.
File your FAFSA early and get to know your financial services counselor. They're here to help, and a good working relationship will help you catch those problems sooner.
Meet with your counselor to find an affordable plan that works with your family budget. And before you finance, consider the options available to you. Most families choose to go with a combination of grants, scholarships, loans, and monthly payments to cover their balance. Your MCPHS University education does not stop at the classroom door. Knowing what you're applying for and meeting with your counselor is the key to not only being a successful and responsible borrower, but being a successful graduate. MCPHS University provides families and students with the skills to be successful in their careers and in their finances. If you have any questions about what you heard today, contact your financial services counselor or feel free to leave them in the comments section.
And that's all there is to it.
That's my line.
Sorry.
Go to your room.
You're not my mom.
Oh, but we are engaged.
Oh, that's right,
Yes.
we are.
See?
Wait, what?
Sorry, honey.
I don't understand.
And that's all there is to it.